Greetings, Bishop Jeffries Bay, um, native of Atlanta, Georgia. Um, Strictly about the cause for freedom and justice in America for our people, and just humanitarian all around. Overall, best thing way I can describe what I'm trying to do is to offer some type of remedy for this justice reform, to where we have a body politic or some type of political protection within the system for the people that's victims of a miscarriage of justice, and basically who's been witnessing this systematic racism over a period of their lives or whatnot. And what I come up with is an NGO, a non-governmental organization, as recognized by the United Nations DESA department, and it's just a foundation for regular citizens to come together, from administration to service, and offer some type of remedy to where we can kind of have advocacy to, better protect our civil liberties, our religious freedoms, and our human rights, as opposed to just 14th Amendment citizen status, which is like a second-class citizenship, which basically is, nothing compared to being recognized as in your full capacity of functional freedom.
Okay. What made you decide to do this?
Well, actually, I got two reasons. One, because I experienced all this racial tension in the system all my life. And secondly, because I had a divine inspiration at 21 that kind of gave me some divine wisdom, so to speak, to see things in a different perspective. It's more like an awakening or an epiphany. And it gave me a whole infrastructure and showed me the format to be able to, offer something like this and make it digestible. To where, as a disclaimer, we're not here to abridge or to do away with the law, but to amend it and make it applicable to our people. And we enforce law and order to protect and serve the same way that the public trust officers do, but we do it from a more ecclesiastical and natural viewpoint, meaning we do it as a humanitarian standpoint and not just for a certain jurisdiction. We defend the Constitution from foreign and domestic enemies because we do have a structure or body of laws that we govern ourselves in accordance with, morally, spiritually, politically, and independently, most of all. Okay? Well, my overall goal would be to basically like help us in America do it, gain our independence like Mandela did in South Africa, and to basically remedy the situation for our people over here that's been, feeling somewhat helpless in the disparity of everything that's going on with this Black Lives Matter movement and everything, and to offer them, a format to where they can get their interests met, their voice heard, and still be within good standing within the law, and basically build from what all our preceding ancestors and different revolutionary individuals such as Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, all of those ones that walked before us, including Harriet Tubman and Sojourner Truth and all of them, who was all in for the cause of freedom, is to kind of bring that into a practical means of us just making it, functional, and to try to unify people on a different level than just race or nationality or political preference. But it's geared toward our people who face this systematic racism, honestly, and to basically just do my part in the whole scheme of just offering something to my society that's tangible and that's just not like a whole bunch of hearsay or talk, to amend the problem versus talk about the problem, to offer remedy and resolution versus just penalty. So it's definitely an infrastructure to help us have some form of independence over in America, and to be able to, deal with our own affairs, get back trained in dealing with our own affairs and dealing with other institutions of society to where we won't be frowned upon as much from all the different foreign individuals that come in to America looking down upon the black American as being just, the lowest on a totem pole in society. And I feel that it will actually aid in the other individuals, such as different nationalities and organizations that want to help us, gain some type of standing over here in America. Whether it's politically or economically, it's just totally a way for us to be able to just, get along and still have our own format for the people that represent our culture that's been through certain things as far as our customs and what we're used to in our present status, is to help us economically, socially, and politically to kind of align back with what's universally the mode of all governments and how they work. So, that's the reason it's a civil society, and it's non-discriminative against anybody. It's geared and erected to the family unit, the male, the female, and the child, the most sacred band of society.
Okay. Now, you mentioned the Black Lives Matter movement. What's the name of your movement?
Well, it's called Exodus Reformed Universal Celestial Order of Service and Free Society, because it has both dual meanings, such as the church and the state. We have an order of service as far as we offer our aid to the community and to be the pillars of the community, to let you know we stand upon the free national republic of one nation under God. Now, the free society is more like a body politic. It's a civil society of individuals that practice a form of autonomy, dealing with the executive, legislature, and the judicial branches of government, in which we all need in order for our independence to be established, respected, and recognized amongst the world abroad.
Okay. So, as far as the comparison to what the Black Lives Matter movement is versus what your movement is are they kind of like interacting with similarities, or because I know like with Black Lives Matter, so it's a global movement. Is yours global as well, or is it just limited to just different areas?
It is global.
Okay.
And, and as far as what I kind of consider this movement is the keystone to all the different movements that's trying to secure our rights over here in America and abroad. And the reason I say it's the keystone because it's nothing new under the sun. It's just a way to actually take all these different findings and make them practical to where it'll be applicable to our society today in its present condition, and to be able to welcome all the aid and assistance of our liberation over in America, and to deal directly with the grassroots, from service to administration, even the educators, to invite them out to be able to help facilitate the programs in this system that we do have with our own constitutions, our own bylaws, and everything else. And as far as the Black Lives Matter movement, it's pretty cool, but I don't really see where it kind of addresses the grassroots of our problems. It's just like all the protesting that they used to do with the civil rights movement. It has its presence, so to speak. It does have its means. Everything is necessary, every organ of society. But as far as hands-on dealing with the political injustice and stuff that we need for our justice reform, it can somewhat undermine its own self as far as getting the results that is truly needed. So I invite them out too. If they want to come in and be involved in this, it's for every human in society to be involved in this. Anybody who want to aid and assist and trying to get that harmony back in our institution, that the spirit of intent was set up for the founding of our nation before just the letters of the law. It's more toward the spirit of intent of the reason why our forefathers or foreparents set up this structure of governance amongst the people, that they were responsible for, dealing with their internal affairs, to make sure it was, done in good dignity, order, and peace.
Okay. Now, who are some of the people that you would like to be a part of this movement with you. Being that, of course, we're in Atlanta. You've got lawyers, like city officials. You've got your Al Sharpton type people. Of course, Jesse Jackson. Who are some of the people that you would like to have to be a part of this movement that you would want to kind of reach out to?
Well, basically, we do have. It's not just founded by one person. It's actually founded by a body because I didn't want it to look like some type of form of dictatorship. We have Archbishop Roosevelt Cates, who's been an administrator and a theologian for like over 40 years, who's been influential in the clergy side of the movement. We definitely need the clergy. Any humanitarian organizations, any fraternal orders that's already kind of groomed for making their presence known, for the chivalric orders and stuff like that they do in the community. Any of the politicians, because they familiar with the process, even if they may be working just for the state at this point. But this is just to apply all those knowledges that they gained in their experience to something that's more familiar with their own culture and their society, something that hits home. We will even like the law personnel, even the organization NOBLE, the National Organization of Black Law Enforcement. We would even like them to be involved to where they have better engagement on dealing with the individuals during traffic stops, doing routine calls, because they need to kind of be familiar with consular representatives and just be familiar with the order of proper procedure when encountering these type of people that practice their belief system to where it's a part of the way of life. So we need all the different entities and pillars of society to be a part of this movement, because that's the only way to see the true ideal or the spirit of intent of what it was founded for. We're inexclusive. Even the LGBT community is welcome, because they have a right to coexist, just like the black man in America have a right to coexist. We're not discriminating against no reason, as long as if they're in the same society and they're in the same community and they're looking for the same changes, we invite them all out, including yourself. You know what I mean? Because we always need people to be able to put the message out right, and just to take people from administration to service, all in between, and be able to let them have their functions, because everybody has a what you call a emphasis or presence to be known in this world that we live in.
Right. And see, being that I deal with a lot of hip hop artists, and I know the hip hop community itself is very, very influential.
Yes, it is.
To just it's influential, and it's a lot that happens in the hip hop community with a lot of rappers. In general, a lot of I would say probably about 90% of the rappers I talk to, they've either all been incarcerated.
True.
They're still fighting for justice. They're getting arrested for, from being like racial profiled or something like that. Talk to the people a little bit about, give some examples of some of the artists, if you can, that you currently have a relationship with that, that have been a part of the current movement that you're trying to promote.
Okay, and I definitely second the motion on that, because I feel like the hip hop community is the new ministry, because it has so much influence over our youth and even over the other cultures, because it can spread beyond the dividers, the territory borders that keep us as a people divided. So definitely I would like the hip hop community to be a part of it, because they definitely, are, the people that's in need, like you say, who already experienced miscarriages of justice, that had their family incarcerated. Some of them have been killed by, the different officials that's sworn to protect them. You know what I mean? It's all because of a misunderstanding or lack of knowledge. And ignorance of the law is not an excuse, as they say, But the point I would say, some of the artists that I've came into contact with over the period of my traveling has been numerous, in fact, and it's all been by the divine order of the Most High, not by my own doing. I claim no glory. It's strictly up to the Most High for how he prepared my footsteps and made me look, you know. Well, a couple of them, I done went from. I have to say this off the rip. No clout chasing and all that extra stuff. But a couple of them was like they was like I grew up with them. You know, I was the older cat in the community that you know went through the same thing they went through, so they could better relate to me. You know, a couple of artists like Brother Jeffrey Williams, you know, better known as Young Thug, um, Brother Martinez, that's known as Lil Duke. There were a couple of brothers that I actually, you know, kind of had a chance to take on them a wing and try to, you know, offer them some type of remedy. And they was susceptible to it and been actually out here practicing and demonstrating in that same light without even taking no credit for it. You know, they just doing it in a chivalric manner. Also Kane BWA, which, you know, I have to say that he been demonstrating and supporting the cause for a long time. You know, we've had Weezy Films, we've had Mook Tovin, you know, different producers, YDG. We had people in different walks of life that came upon me. Just ran into Brother Bank the other day, Big Bank Black from Duct Tape Records, who said he want to get involved in the movement and the organization or whatever. So I'm just waiting around on that. And also as far as the different city officials and stuff, I've been running across them for a long time because I'm also a member of the Concerned Black Clergy, the SCLC, and National Action Network, and just through the clergy and the ministry as a licensed ordained minister and bishop, I had a chance to run across Brother Kwanzaa Hall. We done ran across Joseph Laurie. I've been in his presence and his wife, you know, peace be upon him. I had a chance to meet most definitely the late Reverend Jose Williams, John Lewis. I even met with what's his name, Reverend Stelmark. I can't forget that brother. That's one of the most humblest brothers you've seen, in the blue overalls with the red shirt and his priest collar. Every time you seen him, he doing something directly addressing, you know, dealing with pardons and parole and trying to help, you know, with the civil rights movement. He even skated from a state to another state for the cause of the Heart Foundation or whatever. So he's historic. Just I've been around all of them, you know what I mean? Ali Pat, I've been around Victor Hill, you know, the one Victor Hill out of Clay County. You know, all of these individuals I've kind of ran and crossed paths with in my journey. Needless to say, not even just to name a few, we have males and females that I've ran across, including Bernice King. Who else? I can name a few individuals that I've had a chance, even from the Atlanta Housewives and all that type of stuff. Phaedra, you know, she was a close friend of the family. Had a chance to run across her path. Willie Watkins. I'm totally a native out of this community, so anybody that's been around this area, you know, I went to Washington High School in Grady. I was raised in Techwood, which was the first project in America, and also the heartbeat of the city. So, you know, everything that they're glorifying now, I think we have a major role in trying to help the youth to know what those paths actually lead to and the way out. So, you know, I'm willing to invite any and everybody, especially my Archbishop who licensed and ordained me. His name is Archbishop Roosevelt Cates. I got to show homage on that, and to all the others that helped me, you know, take on these positions and, you know, gain the authority that I have. I'm a general counselor for the non-governmental organization. I am a Grand Master for the state of Georgia for the Masonic Order of Fraternity, commissioned out of Italy. I'm also the bishop in the clergy for the Greater Good Samaritan Episcopal Baptist Church under Archbishop Roosevelt Cates, like I said. And those are the main three authorities or pillars that it take for us to have any form of statehood to protect our constitutions, which are the dome of purity, just like the Capitol. You know, it has a big dome on it and inlaid with gold. I've been around Congressman Hank Johnson. We helped. We even got a resolution in the state. King David Grand Lodge um, for helping to give an honorary 33rd to Congressman Hank Johnson, uh, Senator Vincent Ford, uh, Judge Ramses, and the popular minister. His name is Reverend. I won't say Reverend. I'll say Pastor Abernathy, who's been influential in the city too. So I got a couple of, I'm definitely well rooted in the royalty side of the civil rights movement. Only thing that we were lacking as a people were like more or less was our human rights. Religious freedoms has always been there, and that's something that I'm thankful for. But though I'm not a religious man, I'm more of a spiritual, individual or whatnot. But I can correlate to whomever, however, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And just a little bit to name a few, you know what I mean? I even know, even the grassroots rappers and stuff like that, you know what I mean? Everybody, they know the bishop, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I'm kind of in the center, like a nucleus to all things that revolve around the city. And another thing to mention, not to go further, when I was growing up and I was being prepared for this mission,
Mm-hmm.
it's like I was studying coming across so many cultures from Judaism, Rastafarianism, uh, the church. I started out in the church, Southern Baptist,
Mm-hmm.
but I done ran across the Krishna Society, the Islamic Shrine, and now at this present time in age, I'm seeing that all these different things were just a part of my journey to get prepared to deal with this multicultural, diverse society, into where all these different cultures now are finding Atlanta as a melting pot. And I'm able to correlate with all cultures, all walks of life, even the Yoruba priesthood dealing with the what they call the Ifa, which is basically, like African spirituality or whatever mixed with the Cuban and stuff belief system or whatever carried by the Spanish or preserved by the Spanish during our downtime or whatnot. So I made even, chiefs from that religion, into the order, brought them into the order. In my philosophy or ideology about life, it's like can't nobody judge you or say nothing about your life if they ain't doing nothing to put in certain programs in place to uplift you or to make your life better. And that's what I see a lot of times. A lot of times, everybody, they want to be so judgmental or penalize what they don't understand. But at the same time, I don't see where they're trying to create any jobs for the people or trying to offer them any education or means to make a better perception on life or to get a better experience about life. Everybody want to enforce law and order, but do they really in detail go into the essence or the roots of what they're doing and why they're doing it? Or do they get a badge and get corrupted by that little authority that they're sworn into? Anybody's susceptible. So I believe in even reform for those type of individuals who might have been raised off of hate and didn't know no better before they got into it. I think that anybody has a right to redeem themselves and to make atonement and become a better person. You know what I mean? So I'm non-discriminatory on whatever. Only God can judge you, like Tupac say. I live a thug life, totally humble unto God, living eternally forever. All eyes on me, but they still can't see me here, and they can't see me here. You can see all the tattoos on people. You can see all the nappy locks on people. You can see the different color hair. You can see people wearing the rainbows or whatever. But until you're able to walk in their shoes and understand what they went through growing up and the type of love and situations that were presented to them, I choose, I choose not to judge. I advise you not to judge unless you're going to be ye without sin. Cast the first stone, that type of scenario. So, it's just like they can see you. They see all that we do. This is part of our culture. I got these, I got the gold teeth, Got all of that. But that's a part of my culture. But that don't mean that you can tell the substance of my character from just looking at the book, the cover of the book. You gotta go internal. You gotta judge a person's character by their thoughts, by their heart, by their intentions. And we're meant to look different. But right now, even your congressmen and all of them, even the governors and stuff, even they gonna have tattoos and even they gonna have piercings and all that, because that's the people that's being affected. They gotta have the grassroots individuals to represent the people. You can't be so far from entombment. That's why the whole system has to be reformed, from legislature to judicial, and to the ones that that's in the executive powers to make the laws. You know what I mean? It's got to be some type of grassroots representation on board in order for us to make this a more harmonious journey for us all. There's so many things we could be thinking about. You know what I mean? So that's just a thought that I had. You know what I mean? We're not here to do away with the law. We're here to amend it, just like the Christ consciousness came, Yeshua or Jesus. He didn't come to do away with the law. He came to amend the law, to make it applicable to the people of his present culture and diaspora. You know what I mean? So, all in all, let's be better. Let's do better so we can be better. Sorry about that.